All right, guys, this is Damien again. This is going to be part two, explaining the situations that led up to all of that, the outcome that I explained in the last video. So, guys, I've lived in apartments the majority of my life. I understand what reasonable noise is and stuff like that. I'm not some like anal prick, okay? That being said, when someone's being unreasonably loud consistently, it's a problem. Okay, it's not a problem just for me; it's a problem for everybody, especially in apartment complexes. Now that being said, I'm not someone to just like go behind someone's back and tell and be like, "Hey, I'm man enough to approach them in person," which is what I did the first time. I went to my neighbor who has now moved away, and I had asked him the first time. I'd say, "I don't know if you realize this, but it wasn't a truck, by the way. It was a one of those that loud, and he would leave it running loud for like 10, 15 minutes at a time. Just start the car, leave it running." And I told him, I said, I don't know if you realize how loud your car is, but it literally like rattles the buildings when you just leave it running. Is there any way you can park where your exhaust is facing my place, Barbecue West? And he was like, "Oh, I don't run it at nighttime." And I was like, "Yeah, it still makes noise, man. There's still people that, have babies that sleep. There's people that work nights and sleep." I was like, you got to be considerate of them. And he was a real prick about it, but that's kind of where it ended. But the next day, he was doing it again. And this time I looked at him, and he just starts revving his engine, like kind of like in my face. So basically, I can read people very well in terms of like, is this guy a bitch? Is he not a bitch? And he is, well, I'll refrain from being too detailed, but I could tell that this guy was not going to be a threat to me, and that if I was to instigate something, he would very much be wanting to, point that out that I instigated. So not only did I not physically harm him at all, I did not even threaten to physically harm him, which I assure you, if I would have done either one, he would have told. But instead, he went to the police and said that I was being aggressive with him. I told him, what I said was, if you go to Reddit, you'll see they have three. I was like, if you Google loud exhaust equals small cock, it's a thing. And I was like, everybody knows every time you rev up your engine, leave your car running, everybody knows like, oh, hey, it's the guy with the small cock. It's a guy with a small cock. Like, I was letting him know that, like, you know what I mean? Because it's like, you want to be a prick to me? Dude, I will match your energy and then some. Like, I try to come at you respectful the first time as a man in a respectful way. Like, would you mind doing this? And you know what I mean? It's like, if I was to ever be so disrespectful to someone, I would expect physical confrontation if I was to say that way to somebody. But I don't. There's a lot of people that I feel like I could whoop their butt. Everybody deserves fair respect, Someone can always kick your butt. Everybody at Soaring Eagle, 18 out of 20 of them know that about me. I'm the nail way more than I'm the hammer. But that's in a place where people know their shit. Out in the streets, dude, it's a different story because most people are not trained, including this guy, I guarantee you. But anyway, my Soaring Eagle guys, I assure you I would have represented, just so you guys know. I did not get to that point, and a lot of times in hindsight, I kind of wish maybe I would have, but everything happens for a reason, and never got there. But anyways, so what I'm going to tell you what happened, I had no idea what was going on at the time, but what I told you already about that confrontation, that had already happened, okay? So there was already that, and this is like spaced out. It wasn't like consecutive days. It was like weeks or months. I can't remember. It was like a year or two ago. And plus, it's not like I knew it would lead to this stuff. If I knew what it would be leading to, I would have taken better notes, like mental notes of remembering. But like, this guy had a specific plan to try to screw me because he didn't like how I was being aggressive in reaction to the aggressive things that he was doing to me and all of my neighbors. Which, by the way, my neighbors said thank you. Like, when this guy moved out, they were like, we did not like him. Like, I'm so glad that guy moved out. And I was like, yeah, tell me about it. He didn't even live in Muskogee, by the way. He was coming here from another city with his loud, illegally exhaust car. So anyways, one morning, I'm leaving my Muskogee home, just going for a walk. It's in the morning. And he used to live. Okay, now it's a cool neighborhood. The neighbor up there is perfectly fine, but that's where they used to live. And so I am leaving my Muskogee home, more than likely probably going to Casey's at that time. There's a Casey's right up the street here. So this guy's car would have been right over here, okay? And as you can see, there is an exit right here, okay? And there's an exit over here, okay? And this is where I am walking. So as I am walking, I literally have to pass his vehicle, which was, right by where I just came from. Instead of planting a nail there where his car is, he says, first of all, I'm walking as I am right now. And he, instead of going out that exit, he pulls up on over here. Now, why that's important is because after that second incident, this man claims he went to the police saying that he was scared for his life and that I'm stalking him. It's like, bro, I don't need to stalk you. I know where you live. Like, you know what I mean? Like I don't need to stalk you. Like, I don't know your name or your, I don't know your name or anything, but like, I literally know where you live and I know where you drive. Like, you let it be known every time you pull up in your loud car, like, hey, I'm here. Like, no one needs to stalk you, bro. Like, if you want to be hidden, you're doing a shitty job of it. There's no proof of me stalking him whatsoever. So anyways, but this guy said that I was stalking him, said that, this dude accused me of his wife having a miscarriage because of the stress of it. Like, this dude went so far out of his way to try to make me out to be this horrible villain. And the first judge, not the second judge, but the first judge, ate it all up. So anyways, so knowing that this guy is quoting that he fears me so much that he went to the cops, you would think if someone fears me that they would go out that exit, right? Or they would wait for me to continue going where I'm going if they fear me. Instead, what this guy does is he pulls up on me and he says, hey, you dropped something back there. I said, nah. I was like, no, I didn't. He goes, yeah, you did. And I turn around and I go and I pick up. It was somewhere within this area, and his apartment is way over there. And again, when that car's coming, there's an exit. I go down and I bend up, and I was like, no, man, this is just litter. I was like, this is just litter. And what it was a bottle cap with a nail in it. And he was like, yeah, I saw you. And I was like, it's litter. He goes, I got your ass, or something like that. And then he peeled out. I was like, hey, come here. I was like, you're going to talk that way? I was like, hey, come here. But he just peeled out and kept on going. So, strange at the time, but I did not know what he was planning on doing until much later. But all this stuff, truth will prevail, and it did. So, he used that example to go to the judge, the first judge. And that judge, even though I showed up and said, I'm not stalking him, this has to do with him, and blah, 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 like with his loud car, the judge put a because maybe it's because I said, like, I wasn't doing that stuff anyway. I was like, if you're going to put a protective order on me, like, that I'm not supposed to, like, threaten him or stalk him, I was like, I wasn't doing that in the first place. So the judge was like, all right, well, I'll go ahead and do it for 3 years or whatever the time frame he put it on there for. But that should have never happened. A protective order should have never been placed on me. And if that video, if somebody wants to submit that video of what they show the judge, I'm all for it. I'd show everybody how horrible that evidence is. But that's not the one. It didn't even have to get to that point. But anyways, so fast forward, there's a protective order on me, and I know that. I went to court for it. So it's like, obviously, I'm not. I wasn't doing anything in the first place. But I'm like, dude, I'm not gonna do. I will punch you in the face. Okay, I will punch you in the face before I plant a nail. Okay, come on, guys. Come on. I don't train martial arts and get my butt whooped by the badasses at Soaring Eagle. Which, guys, you want to be a badass, train at Soaring Eagle. They will toughen you up. But I don't go there to get my butt kicked by those guys just to be planting a nail on some little dude who would not even have the balls to step foot inside of a place like Soaring Eagle. Like, that's not my cloth, okay? But he tried to paint me as such. So, anyways, so there's a protective order. Fast forward, conveniently, a week or two before he moved away, because he was visiting his girlfriend every time here, or his wife, which I didn't even know he had until he explained all that in court. It's like, dude, I would not know your name unless it showed up on the court papers. Like, I would not know your